Before we begin, thank you very much to Isaac E. for joining my Patreon campaign. Very appreciated. Thank you so much for joining. A few more people added onto the list. I might have a little bit to go before I run out of shout-outs, so thank you guys for being very generous. Thank you for the support. I am not kidding when I say it keeps the channel alive. So thank you guys for doing it. As long as you keep grinding, I will keep grinding. We will continue these together. So, I've been so caught up in everything else lately. Frankly, I've been spending so much time watching and note-taking for the Beast Machines episode reviews, I kind of forgot that I was in the middle of doing Earthspark reviews too, so I kind of have to backtrack, backpedal, and get back on the ball when it comes to those. So as always, we're doing 2 episodes in one video to fill it out, and this is going to start with, Missed Connection. Missed Connection. So, this is an interesting one. So, it is very Nightshade focused. So, prepare for a lot of they, them pronouns. If you don't like that, just get out. Get out right now. Join the 21st century and then get out. So, it starts basically, I mean, you think you're going to get a hijinks episode because it's a day off of school. So, all the Maltos, human and Cybertronian alike, get to hang out for the day. But Nightshade is blowing things up in their lab. They've essentially they found out that they enjoy the art of inventing. Now, clearly, we've already seen they enjoy building things because the entirety of their basement now was built by Nightshade, and it's this big, epic little command center for them. But now they're focusing on more practical, more small-scale inventions, like the target drone here. That it's essentially, he invented like the little floating practice ball from Star Wars as the thing everyone creates in sci-fi when they want some kind of little training sphere. It works the same way essentially too. But it does bring up the fact that what Nightshade is interested in doing is not something that is shared by the other Maltos. We see like Jawbreaker and Mo are just like playing pretend Transformer in the yard. You know, you've got everyone kind of doing their own thing. And Nightshade likes to spend their time being creative. More to the point where they like to invent things and create new devices to help everybody rather than spend time with the family. Which, okay, there's a little bit of introversion there. A lot of bit of creativity. The point of this episode, though, is for Nightshade to realize there are other ways of being inventive and being creative rather than just inventing things. Alex introduces them to a book. Basically like more of a heroic protector style story. And this is the first time Nightshade realizes there are ways of expressing yourself through words and imagination rather than just creation. That you can create things out of your mind rather than just out of your hands. So it opens up a lot, and it opens up the option of like they're trying to find some kind of kindred spirit here. They think that if they find the author, they're going to find something out about themselves, or they're going to find some kind of kindred spirit. Well, it leads to their graveyard. That's the downer of the episode, but it does lead to somebody that Nightshade can actually understand, and I am shocked. I am absolutely shocked by this little twist in the formula, but I absolutely love it. They find Tarantulas. Now, when the promos came out and Tarantulas was skittering around on that crypt in that one shot, I was like so excited, right? I was super excited because number one, I love Tarantulas as a character. But also, it's a Nick Roche designed Tarantulas, which means it's going to lean far harder into Transmetal Tarantulas, which I find to be a far more iconic and unique look. Oh, and it looks good. Oh, and it looks so good. So, this is a Tarantulas unlike one we have ever seen before. He's still an inventor. He's still creating things. But it's not a, like, creepy, cannibalistic, like, borderline psychopath type character like he was in Beast Wars. He's far more tamed and reserved. In this case, he really just wants to escape. Whether that means hiding away from Ghost or finding some way he can integrate into human society without being detected. So that's basically what he's trying to devise here. Do I have a shot of that? Yeah, I do. So yeah, he's essentially trying to invent the hollow matter avatar, which is his idea of integrating into human society undetected so he can live a more free life rather than just being trapped underground, hidden. The idea of hiding away and toiling with your inventions really makes Nightshade bond to him very quickly, and it's surprisingly genuine. Like, Tarantulas really does seem like he really enjoyed and needed the company, that he needed someone else to share his inventions with and actually be around. It's a really weird take, to kind of turn him into this reclusive inventor type, but I don't mind it either. There's enough of the original Tarantulas in there to kind of make me go, okay, this is him, but it's definitely a new take in a new direction. It's not like a complete shift, but it's like a sideways version of Tarantulas, and I actually really enjoy it. Like, you as a Beast Wars fan are going to immediately start trying to figure out where the twist is, where, he's really just going to eat Nightshade by the end of this episode, but no, not at all. There's a genuine friendship here, a genuine camaraderie. It's enjoyable. It's really surprising is what it is to take Tarantulas in this direction. And it's something that I was really needing from this show. We saw in the first 10 episodes so many Decepticons that were just not willing to let the war go away. They were still battling, whether it was Swindle, Soundwave, Frenzy, Skywarp, all of them. For the most part, just about everyone that has worn a Decepticon badge outside of Megatron has just still tried to be the villain, and that's not what Tarantulas is after. He wants to be with other people. He wants to live a life. That's a different take, not only on Tarantulas, but on the Decepticons we've seen in this show so far. And it's what I've really been needing. So now we know the Decepticons are not just one note, right? They're not just all immediately the bad guy. It's not the smoothest of sailing. That's not to say that there's smooth sailing with Tarantulas. He is still the villain of this episode, but is through pure misunderstanding. He does find out that Nightshade is under the watch of the Maltos, and knows that they're with Ghost, or at least Dorothy is. So he's immediately distrustful. He immediately assumes that they're just, imprisoning Nightshade. Because really what Tarantulas wants is to run off with his new friend into the night. That's not going to happen. Obviously, that's not going to happen. He doesn't understand the family dynamic. That's the thing. And it's not something that even as a Decepticon, he's not going to understand that to begin with, but also his natural distrust of Ghost and, to a lesser extent, humans in general, leads to this confrontation. And it's an unfortunately tragic one. We just saw how good of a friends these two became, and now all of a sudden, because of a misunderstanding, they're torn apart. There is an upside to this. It does lead to Nightshade finding their alt mode. And the alt mode is a really awesome looking steel owl. It's an unexpected twist. Now, it does play into the story he read, right? So he chose his alt mode based on the book that inspired them to be more of a hero and more of a protector than they have been before. So I love the choice. I love the motivation behind the choice. And yes, the fact that it's just this awesome looking green owl made of blades might make this might make me a little bit biased here. Might make me just a little bit biased here. I love the design. I love the design. I already really like Nightshade as a character. They might be vying for my favorite character in this show so far. Really. Because they really are just like, I love the invention side of it. I love the desire to express themselves, the creativity that drives them as a character. Love all of that. And then you just stack on just a really awesome green design with a really cool alt mode. This character's getting a deluxe toy. And I really hope it comes across really good. I hope it's not like, I don't know how they're going to get this bulky owl out of this very svelte robot mode, but man, I wish them the best of luck because I really want them to do Nightshade justice. So, the end of the episode is almost as tragic as the fight itself because once Tarantulas realizes the real dynamic going on here, he actually volunteers to lead Ghost away while the Maltos escape. And that is, again, like a self-sacrificing Tarantulas is, again, not a Tarantulas I ever expected. And yeah, like, it really makes me excited to see the character again. Because, I mean, the friendship is one thing, but just what they're willing to do now for someone else's freedom. That they, as a character, this Tarantulas values freedom so much that he's willing to risk his own for his new friend. That's great. Even whether it's to, whether it's out of the friendship or to just make amends for the mistake of abducting the Maltos. It's a fascinating treasure. I watched this with a friend of mine, and we were both just like, at the end of the episode, just kind of like sitting back going like, I never expected a Tarantulas to actually be this way, but I don't hate it, and I want to see this character again. I would love to see this character again. So so Misconnection gets a fantastic rating from me. It's a great episode. I love the development for Nightshade. I love the introduction of Tarantulas. The alt mode that Nightshade picked is awesome. A lot of good development here and a lot of good things set up for the future. I cannot wait for Tarantulas' inevitable return. And I'm really hoping he stays the way he is and he doesn't get like coerced into being more of a traditional Decepticon. I really hope that his friendship with Nightshade is a very strong element the next time we see the two together. So that's Misconnection. And Misconnection is a great episode. And we're followed immediately by Security Protocol, which is where everything hits the fan. So, we find out that Ghost has actually been on Bumblebee's trail because Bumblebee hasn't exactly been good at hiding his trail. As it turns out, he's been a yellow vehicle of some type all over the world doing competitive races, and in this episode, the episode starts with Bumblebee getting in some practice laps and Ghost tracking him down and discovering him. He's using Energon boosts for his races, so he's literally leaving a trail of himself. I don't know why he doesn't just pick a different color for alt mode if he's really trying to hide, because apparently they're just dead focused on yellow sports cars. But it's Bumblebee being sloppy. It's Bumblebee getting a little bit too careless with his own desire rather than hiding away like he's supposed to. We still don't know why Bumblebee's supposed to be in hiding. We don't know why Ghost is so dead set on tracking him down. Even after this episode, we still do not know. All we know is that they are aware of what his alt mode is now. Now, Schloeder believes that Bumblebee has scanned the Maltos car, Alex's car. Remember previously, they actually established that Bumblebee's alt mode is supposed to be Alex's nice fancy sports car. How he afforded it, I have no idea. But that is the story they're going with here, right? So, what do? So the cover story is that, Bumblebee must have just scanned that particular vehicle mode. Isn't that convenient? Yeah. So they're going to be in more trouble later because, Alex and Dorothy do get a little in too deep on this one. A little bit too deep on this one. We'll get there. The side story here is that the Terrans, as well as Mo and Robbie, are trapped underground. So something Nightshade baked into the new base was a security protocol that goes into total lockdown, meaning nothing can get in or out until 10 minutes after Ghost is left the premises. Nightshade might have added a few zeros to the end of the timer. They're in there for 10 hours. Tensions run high. They're worried about their parents because they have no way of contacting them, no way of seeing what's going on. All they know is Ghost is interested in the Maltos at the moment. So that's a bit of a side drama for the episode. It does raise tensions between the siblings, but they get some sibling bonding time out of it, so not too bad. We get a little bit of character fleshing out for between the siblings. More concerning to me is the fact that Robbie, and Mo have been there for 10 hours. No one has mentioned any kind of human food or bathroom being present in the base. I cannot imagine this was a comfortable extended stay for them. But really, that's just like a very background thing. It's mostly just to explain why the Terrans are not butting into this situation. But basically just to kind of leave Bumblebee to his own devices. So, the own devices is a rivalry. An old rivalry of Bumblebees that is reignited in this episode. And again, props to Earthspark, you're finally giving me what I want. It's Breakdown. And again, this is a shot from the trailer where they're actually like clasping hands. And really? So we just had this episode where we found out like there's Decepticons taking other approaches after the war. And now we get this scene where Bumblebee actually has a friend amongst the Decepticons in Breakdown. That's kind of awesome. Now, keep in mind, I love the idea that of all the Stunticons, it just keeps ending up being Breakdown, right? So Breakdown gets the upgrade and the bigger character in Prime. He gets to be he gets to be Knockout's thing in the comic books. Breakdown is, you're talking about like the first BotCon exclusive Breakdown. Like he gets to be the very first BotCon exclusive, and now he gets to be the spotlight in Earthspark amongst all of the Stunticons. It's interesting. It's interesting to me that he gets paired out from the other Stunticons so often. Don't mind it though. Don't mind it. It's interesting that there's so many more versions of him than everybody else. And this one is fairly amicable with Bumblebee. They have a friendly rivalry thing going. He still has some Decepticon attitude to him, but he is actually amicable with Bumblebee, which is interesting. They want to have another race because Breakdown is still trying to beat Bumblebee. Now, keep in mind, Ghost is wise to everybody at this point. I don't even think Bumblebee is aware that Ghost is onto him this closely at this point. To the point where the next race is, definitely the last. So at this point, all they know is they're getting Cybertronian signatures from one of these vehicles. Now, in order to kind of play this up and try to get Bumblebee out of trouble, what you do not see here, what I forgot to take a screen cap of, is that Dorothy is actually driving Bumblebee and trying to make out an alibi of, oh, I've been racing Alex's car at night. It's nice cover. It's cover that completely goes away when Breakdown transforms and tries to blast his way out. So that didn't last very long. But in the chaos, some of the humans get in danger, which leads to the big moment. It is Schloter and Ghost seeing Bumblebee in person. Ghost, being who they are, even after Bumblebee just saved them from being crushed, immediately starts shooting at Bumblebee while he is still holding the debris over their heads. Ghost is not the smartest of antagonists. So what we see here is I hope to be some kind of seed planted, at least in Schloter, because it looks like Schloter might have a little bit more to him than your standard Ghost agent. We're going to see that very soon, like after this whole melee, where he actually sticks up for the Maltos, claiming that they were just as deceived as Ghost was about Bumblebee's identity. So they don't get arrested. He actually gets them off the hook and gets his sister to drop her guard and just leave. So he actually shows some of just being a genuinely good guy. In this moment, he's saying, this is not who we are. I feel like there's definitely going to be a hard divide between these two going forward in these episodes. Whereas she, as the director of Ghost, is hard set on just how, like, basically just being a horrible person to every Decepticon, but ultimately she's in control of Ghost, so that's what they're going to do. But Schloeder's more interested in what the Ghost mission is, at least the face of Ghost's mission, to protect people on Earth from Transformer threats. So they're going to be at odds. When he finds out what she's really like, I feel like that is going to be like the split between these two, and I can absolutely see Schloeder coming over to the Autobot side, or at least Bumblebee's side, at some point in this series. I don't know how long it'll take. It really just depends on how open she is with her villainous character, but it might take a while. It might be a slow burn, which is not a bad thing. But it definitely starts to show signs that Schloeder is not just like a one-note, like just like stereotypical agent character, which is good. There is tragedy to the episode. So the conflict ends when Breakdown challenges Bumblebee to one last race, and the winner gets to be the diversion. He actually sacrifices himself so Bumblebee can get away. And again, new takes on what the Decepticons are doing. I love this. I love it. I love seeing the Decepticons that act differently than you expect. I love seeing that there's other Decepticons taking other approaches to how they handle post-war relations. He is rough around the edges. He's still got a Decepticon mean streak, but he shows that his rivalry and friendship with Bumblebee is very genuine here. So we set up a lot of things. So everyone just kind of went like rip Breakdown. Nothing in this shot indicates that Breakdown is dead. Ghost takes him takes control of him at gunpoint, and there's no indication that they finish him off. So I genuinely think Breakdown's still going to be around. We might see him come back at some point. Meanwhile, Bumblebee now gets to be on the run, which gives some drama to the Malto family, as well as, just something for us viewers to anticipate and watch out for. What happens now? Where does Bumblebee go from here? His cover is completely blown. We still don't even know why he needs to maintain his cover. All we know is that now he can't be out in the open anymore. And very well likely can't be that vehicle anymore. So now is the waiting game. What happens to Breakdown? What happens to Bumblebee? And where do we go from here? It's a big thing to finish the episode on. And again, a really strong episode. I'm still like, I was so afraid of this episode based on who was behind it, because I didn't like Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's mostly the same people behind this one. But the storytelling is so strong, and the character work is so good, and it's been genuinely refreshing. Every time I watch Earthspark, I realize like this is just refreshing to watch for a Transformers cartoon. And I'm genuinely curious about where it goes next, and I'm really excited for when new episodes are going to drop. So that is Missed Connection, as well as Security Protocols. 2 more episodes down the drain. It's a fantastic series, people. It's doing cool things, and this is a perfect 2 pair of episodes for just showing that it's not all villainous Decepticons anymore. We got shades of gray, and I hope they keep playing with it, because it's some of the more fascinating elements of the series. So that is more Earthspark reviews. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you're enjoying the series, not just the series of reviews, but Earthspark in general. If you haven't picked it up, why are you watching this if you haven't watched the series? Go watch it. It's wonderful. And I'm going to try and pick up the pace on these a little bit too. So thank you guys for watching. I will see you next time. Guys, I am facing the most powerful enemy any YouTuber can face, the algorithm, and I need your help to defeat him. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment. Every time you do, we attack that algorithm and we drive it back until it can no longer defeat this channel. Thank you very much.